Focus? Let me ask you, how often do you command it? How often do you guard it like a treasure? Or do you allow the world to divide it, scatter it, weaken it until your power is spent before the work begins? You say you want success, but you look left and right at what others are doing. You say you want greatness, but your mind is running in 10 directions with no discipline, no structure, and no aim. You have dreams, but they are dreams without power because they are dreams without focus. And without focus, you are drifting, and drifting is death to your destiny. Understand this now. The mind must be disciplined to concentrate its force. Success is not a matter of luck or chance. It is a matter of controlled attention. Controlled attention is power. And power, when focused like a laser, will cut through resistance like a blade through stone. You do not need more opportunities. You do not need more motivation. You need more focus. You were given the most powerful instrument in the world, your mind. But your mind, undirected, is a wildfire burning up energy, time, and potential. Your thoughts are the seeds of creation, but scattered across 10 fields, they grow nothing. The man who rises is not the man who tries everything, but the man who chooses one aim and gives it everything. Let me speak to you now, soul to soul. The reason you are frustrated, exhausted, and lost is not because you lack talent. It is not because you are cursed or unlucky. It is because your mind is not yet trained to obey. You allow distraction to become your master. You entertain what is urgent instead of what is essential. You respond to noise instead of command. And the law of life is simple. Whatever you focus on expands. Whatever you ignore shrinks. Whatever you repeat becomes your destiny. The world is designed to steal your focus. Your phone, your habits, the opinions of the average man, all of them pull at you like sirens begging you to drift. But if you are to succeed, if you are to master the laws of success, then you must rise above this noise. You must declare, I guard my focus as I guard my fortune. I protect my attention as I protect my soul. I choose what I look at. I choose what I feed my mind. I choose my aim and I do not let go. Say this aloud. I will not divide my energy. I will not chase 1,000 paths. I will finish what I start. My focus is my superpower. Andrew Carnegie built an empire not because he chased everything, but because he chose one thing and gave it everything. He made steel his aim. He made focus his creed. He once told me, put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket. That was not recklessness. That was law. That was mastery. That was the power of controlled attention. The reason most men never build anything worth keeping is because they change their direction every time the wind blows. They chase fads, they copy others, they lose heart when the results are slow. But the builder, the real builder, sets his vision like stone and he does not move. He keeps striking, he keeps repeating, he keeps hammering until the work is done. You must understand this. Focus is not a mood. It is not a feeling. It is a decision. It is discipline. It is the law of mental concentration. You do not wait to feel focused. You decide to be focused. You train your mind every day to return to the aim. You reject distractions. You eliminate what weakens you. You simplify your life to amplify your results. Most people are busy, but they are not effective. They confuse motion with progress. They confuse effort with achievement. But the truth is brutal. Only focused effort matters. Only sustained directed force produces results. Only concentrated thought creates miracles. You say you want a different life, then give your mind a different instruction. You must train it. You must condition it. Every morning, declare your aim. Every night, repeat it again. Visualize it. Affirm it. Obey it. Say this. I train my focus like a warrior trains his weapon. I do not allow confusion to enter. I do not negotiate with distractions. I finish what I start. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the electric light. Did he lose focus? No. He narrowed his aim. He rejected everything else. He understood this. When you focus, you multiply your time. When you focus, you compress decades into days. When you focus, you do more with less because all of you is moving in one direction. The scattered man burns out, the focused man builds. Choose which one you will be. Now hear this. Every distraction is a thief. It comes disguised as entertainment, as opinion, as comfort, but its goal is always the same: to pull you off the path, to break your rhythm, to make you start over. Every time you lose focus, you lose momentum. And momentum is sacred, momentum is divine. It is the force that carries you when your feelings fade. And it only comes through consistent, undivided attention to your aim. Focus is the soil in which faith grows. Focus is the fire in which discipline is forged. Focus is the rhythm by which results are revealed. Say this aloud. I do not chase. I attract through focused creation. I do not scatter. I build through ordered effort. I do not drift. I drive my mind like a tool. Rockefeller built his fortune not by accident, but by mastering his energy. He was calm. He was structured. He did not react to the panic of the market. He was focused on strategy. He was obsessed with execution. The men around him were loud, frantic, emotional. He was composed, silent, surgical. Focus was his weapon. You must learn this stillness. You must learn this command. You must develop the ability to return to your aim no matter what storms around you. Most men lose days, weeks, years because they are always starting over. But the focused man builds layers. The focused man compounds effort. The focused man does not need hype. He has habits. So, what breaks a man's focus? 3 things: distraction, doubt, and delay. Distraction tells you there is something more urgent. Doubt tells you your effort is not enough. Delay tells you to wait until you feel ready. All 3 are lies. Lies of the enemy. Lies of the average. Lies of weakness. You must kill them with repetition. You must bury them under structure. You must say every day, I return to my aim. I return to my rhythm. I return to my work. This is the law. He who controls his focus controls his future. Do not underestimate the cost of broken focus. It steals your peace. It destroys your belief. It makes you question what was once clear. Focus is not just about results. It is about protection. It protects your energy. It protects your identity. It protects your vision. You will never rise if your mind is divided. You will never become undeniable if your energy is diluted. You will never command results if you cannot command attention. Say this: I do not owe the world my attention. I owe my aim, my obedience. And now you must build a fortress around your focus. You must guard your schedule. You must control your inputs. You must limit access. You must simplify your environment. You must subtract to multiply. You must prune to grow. Your power is not in doing more. Your power is in doing less, better, simpler, sharper, stronger. Let the others chase everything. You chase one thing until it is complete. You finish, you move with law. Say it again. I move with law. I act in rhythm. I protect my focus like sacred fire. The subconscious mind does not obey scattered commands. It obeys focused instruction. Repeated, emotive, structured. This is how you install belief. This is how you multiply discipline. This is how you harden your identity into that of a finisher. Stop breaking your focus with pointless updates. Stop opening doors to every noise. Stop listening to every voice. Most of them have no aim. They cannot help you. They cannot strengthen you. They cannot walk your path, and still you give them your ears, your eyes, your minutes, your mind. You must stop. Say this aloud. I choose who speaks into my mind. I guard my gates. I protect my inputs. I remain faithful to my focus. Do you want peace? Focus. Do you want wealth? Focus. Do you want mastery? Focus. Everything you desire is hidden inside the power of sustained, disciplined, structured attention. The builder does not divide. He multiplies. The drifter does not build. He begins and begins and begins again. You must stop beginning. You must finish. You must rise before your distractions. You must command your day before the world commands you. You must say, this is what I do, and I do not move until it is done. Discipline without focus is wasted. Talent without focus is potential unrealized. Ambition without focus is fantasy. But focus, pure, undistracted focus, turns dust into gold, turns time into empire, turns a single man into a force. Let them laugh. Let them question. Let them chase. You stay focused. Say it now. I stay focused until it is finished. I obey my structure. I multiply my momentum. The man who stays focused becomes immortal in his results. He outlives the opinions. He outlasts the failures. He overtakes those with more talent. Because the law is this: energy concentrated is energy multiplied. Focus is the path of giants. All else is noise. You must understand the nature of the mind. It obeys only the strongest voice. If the strongest voice is distraction, then distraction becomes the master. If the strongest voice is emotion, then emotion becomes the driver. But if the strongest voice is purpose, then purpose becomes law. Every time you return to your vision, you make it stronger. Every time you sit in your chair and work when you feel like quitting, you burn it deeper into your identity. Every time you speak your aim aloud in private and act upon it with no applause, you build the structure of destiny. And hear me clearly, structure is not born of feeling, it is born of command. You do not wait to feel like building, you build, and the feeling follows. Focus comes not when you crave it, but when you command it. I ask you now, what would your life look like if you obeyed your structure for 1 year without breaking? What would happen if you cut off every distraction, eliminated every compromise, and placed your vision at the top of your altar every day? What empire would rise from the soil of your daily discipline? Most men never find out, because most men break focus after a few days. They start strong, then seek comfort. They start clear, then allow clutter. They start committed, then seek validation. But the man of power builds deeper each day. His focus becomes compound interest. His mind becomes a fortress. His will becomes iron. Say this aloud. I do not break focus. I do not seek comfort. I remain faithful to my aim until the world obeys. Focus is not merely about productivity, it is about identity. When you train your mind to return to the task, to return to the rhythm, to return to the law, you transform who you are. You stop becoming a wanderer and become a commander. You stop drifting through reaction and start dictating reality. You must stop thinking like a consumer. You must start thinking like a builder. The consumer is distracted because he is waiting to be entertained. The builder is focused because he is busy creating. You cannot live in both worlds. You must choose. Every time you scroll mindlessly, every time you indulge every notification, every time you break from your rhythm, you weaken the builder and feed the drifter. Say this aloud. I choose to build. I starve distraction. I feed direction. I move with unbreakable focus. Henry Ford was not the most brilliant engineer, but he had what others did not: focus. He did not wait for conditions to be perfect. He worked. He simplified. He returned to the same idea until the system was born. The Model T was not the result of genius. It was the result of focus. You do not need more creativity. You need more discipline. You do not need more options. You need more elimination. You do not need more speed. You need more repetition. Focus is not fancy. It is brutal. It is dull. It is sacred. Repeat this. I do not chase excitement. I chase execution. The reason most people never taste mastery is because they keep changing the recipe. They change their strategy before the results have had time to appear. They change their habits before the harvest. They change their course before the miracle. Focus says, stay until it grows. Focus says, water what you planted. Focus says, finish. You must stop switching your goal every time you feel doubt. You must stop adjusting your vision to make others comfortable. You must stop looking for new when you have not yet mastered the now. Say this, I finish before I begin again. I master before I multiply. I complete before I consider anything new. The world will tempt you to divide. It will pull you in 100 directions. It will say, do this too, try that also. Why not start over? And if you obey that noise, you will never know what you are capable of, because the highest level of power can only be reached by those who choose one direction and remain faithful to it. You must be ruthless with your yes, and you must be holy with your no. You must eliminate what steals time, energy, attention, belief. Ask yourself, who have I allowed to fragment my focus? What habits do I feed that kill my rhythm? What environments do I tolerate that break my concentration? Focus is not just about what you do, it is about what you refuse to do. It is not just about what you commit to, it is about what you walk away from. Say this aloud. I cut the noise, I subtract the unnecessary. I consecrate my energy to one vision. When I began writing Think and Grow Rich, I was offered 1,000 other things to do. People wanted my time, my ideas, my involvement in projects that looked exciting but were not aligned. I declined them all. Not because they weren't worthy, but because they were not the work. The builder does not chase distraction. He ignores even the good if it breaks the law of focus. The law of focus is sacred. It says, choose your aim and eliminate all that is not that. Repeat your structure. Honor your time. Starve your distractions. Multiply your repetitions. Structure is the soil. Discipline is the water. Focus is the sunlight. With these, your vision must grow. Without them, your vision must die. This is not emotional language. It is universal law. Say it aloud. I obey the law of focus. I reject all that breaks my structure. I starve all that interrupts my rhythm. Do not believe the myth that you can balance everything. You cannot. The greatest results come from imbalance, strategic, focused imbalance. Seasons of obsessive focus. Seasons of radical commitment. That is what produces legacy. That is what produces a body of work so undeniable the world must stop and look. You must stop trying to be everything to everyone. You must become everything to your one purpose. Write this. My work is sacred. My focus is sacred. I give it everything. Now look at your schedule. Does it reflect that? Do your hours reflect your belief? Does your calendar reflect your conviction? If not, you must change it immediately. You must reorder your day. You must cut the distractions at the root. You must restructure your inputs, your people, your environment, your triggers. Because if you do not build your rhythm, the world will build chaos around you. Say it. I live by rhythm. I reject disorder. I command my environment. The average man waits for motivation. The builder installs structure. He builds the system that builds the result. Focus is not about intensity alone. It is about frequency. It is about showing up daily whether you feel like it or not. It is about being so loyal to your rhythm that the world cannot pull you off track. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection. Structure is not restriction, it is liberation. Focus is not confinement, it is creation. You must stop believing the lies of the world that freedom is found in doing whatever you want. Freedom is found in doing what you must. Daily, relentlessly, unapologetically, until the work is done. Say this aloud. I work when I don't feel like it. I finish what I start. I return to my aim every single day. Now ask yourself, what would happen if I focused with divine obsession for 1 year? One aim, one mission, one commitment, one rhythm. Your life would transform beyond recognition. The distractions would vanish. The weak opinions would fade. The unqualified voices would disappear. Because the man of focus is a force, and the world cannot ignore a force. You must become so faithful to your vision that you no longer crave motivation. You no longer seek inspiration. You no longer look for reasons. Your reason becomes your repetition. Your inspiration becomes your work. Your motivation becomes your focus. The man who wins is not the man who starts many things. It is the man who finishes one vision, one structure, one outcome, over and over until it stands. And when that result comes, it will speak louder than your words ever could. It will silence every critic. It will honor every sacrifice. It will reward every act of self-command. You must now choose delay or discipline, attention or achievement, distraction or destiny. One road leads to comfort. The other leads to legacy. One is crowded. The other is sacred. One is noisy. The other is silent. And only in silence does the great man build. Let others talk about what they will do. Let others drift from goal to goal. Let others seek applause for unfinished plans. You build, you focus, you finish. Say it again. I do not announce, I execute. I do not break, I repeat. I do not scatter, I build in rhythm. The rhythm is what changes you. It is not one act that changes your life. It is the daily obedience, the weekly refinement, the monthly mastery. Do not measure yourself by results alone. Measure yourself by repetition. Measure yourself by focus. Measure yourself by how quickly you return when you fall, because that is the mark of a builder. Not that he never stumbles, but that he returns with discipline. He returns without emotion. He returns because he knows the law. The mind obeys what is repeated. And when you live this way, focused, disciplined, unwavering, you become something different. You become undeniable. You become immovable. You become inevitable. The world begins to shift in your favor, not because you forced it, but because you mastered yourself. That is the true reward of focus, not just the result, but the rebirth. Not just the goal, but the identity. Not just the outcome, but the becoming. You become the man who finishes. Now I tell you, the builder who finishes is not the one who never felt weak, never felt distracted, never doubted. No. The one who finishes is the one who returns, who renews, who reaffirms his focus every day until the law becomes stronger than his feelings, until his decisions become greater than his distractions, until his rhythm becomes holy. Your mind will fight this. It will demand novelty. It will seek escape. It will crave comfort. But the mind was not designed to lead, you were. You must train it. You must instruct it. You must speak to it as a general speaks to his army, with clarity, with conviction, with command. Say this aloud. I do not ask for permission. I give instruction. I lead my mind to focus. I lead my will to action. The subconscious mind is not moved by chaos. It is moved by order, repetition, precision, and most of all, belief. Belief that is not scattered across dreams and diversions, but belief forged through daily focused creation. You cannot plant 100 seeds in different fields and expect a single harvest. Choose your field. Plant in it daily. Water it with discipline. Protect it with focus. And do not leave until the fruit is undeniable. The men you admire, Rockefeller, Edison, Ford, Carnegie, they were not gods. They were men who mastered their time. They were men who eliminated noise. They were men who stayed with one idea until it obeyed. Edison's mind did not wander. When others mocked, he returned to the lab. When the world doubted, he returned to the blueprint. When nothing worked, he returned again. And because of that return, the darkness surrendered, the light obeyed. That is what focus does. It commands matter, it bends circumstance, it builds reality. But the man who wavers, the man who half builds, who half finishes, who half believes, he never sees the miracle. Because the miracle lives on the other side of monotony. The miracle appears only to the one who persists long after the feeling fades. Say this now. I do not stop when I am tired. I stop when the law is fulfilled. And what is the law? The law says this. You reap what you repeat. You become what you focus on. You rise or fall by the structure you obey. There are no exceptions, only obedience or rebellion. You say you want to change your life, then change your focus. Everything else will follow. You are not scattered by accident. You are scattered by decision. And you can choose today to become aligned. You can choose today to eliminate what weakens you. You can choose today to step out of the noise and into the chamber of sacred concentration. I tell you, when your focus becomes pure, your power becomes unstoppable. You may lose time. You may lose support. You may lose comfort. But you will gain a self that is stronger than circumstance, a mind sharper than temptation, a spirit immune to failure. That is the gift of focus, not just the success, but the self who is built by obeying the law. You must now make it your mission to eliminate everything that does not serve the aim. Every relationship that scatters you, every habit that weakens you, every opinion that distracts you. This is not cruelty. This is devotion. Say it aloud. I eliminate to elevate. I subtract to strengthen. I sacrifice to focus. Your future does not belong to everyone. Your rhythm is not for public access. Your structure is not for debate. You must protect the schedule like a sacred text. You must guard the vision like a holy flame. And you must speak only to the self who believes. When I built my life's work, I did not announce it in cafes. I did not debate it in crowds. I wrote in silence. I spoke to infinite intelligence. I obeyed my structure. And in time, the world bowed to the result. The world respects what it cannot deny. And it cannot deny the man of focus, because the man of focus becomes law. He does not ask. He builds. He does not seek permission. He commands through proof. And that is what you must become, not a speaker of aims, but a producer of structure. Not a collector of goals, but a fulfiller of one. One aim, one structure, one repetition, until the world obeys. Now look at your distractions. Look at your habits. Look at your commitments. Do they build your aim or break it? You must measure every input by one law. Does this strengthen my focus or does it steal from it? If it weakens you, it must go. If it divides you, it must be cut. If it distracts you, it must die. This is the holy pruning. This is the sacred separation. This is the price of mastery. And if you are not willing to pay the price, you will not receive the prize. You will talk. You will plan. But you will not complete. And the world will forget your promises. You say you want peace. Then remove the noise. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of purpose. And purpose, when focused, becomes power. Say this aloud. My peace is in my purpose. My rest is in my rhythm. My security is in my structure. Every morning before the world speaks, you must return to the law. You must remind your mind what it serves. You must speak your aim aloud with faith, with certainty, with decision, and then you must work. You must obey the rhythm. You must take the action, and you must do it again and again and again, until the repetition becomes identity, until the action becomes automatic, until your life becomes a reflection of the structure you built in silence. This is the true meaning of think and grow rich. It is not mere thought. It is directed, focused, repetitive, concentrated thought. It is thought with structure. It is thought fused with obedience. It is focus made law. Say it now. I fuse my thought with discipline. I obey my aim with action. I build with sacred focus. The man who obeys this law does not need to speak. His results speak for him. His presence commands. His work echoes. His life teaches. And when he enters the room, the world feels him, not because he asked for attention, but because he earned it through focused obedience. That is what you must become. Not loud, not busy, but focused, disciplined, finished. Let the others speak of what they plan. You walk in what is done. Let the others share their goals. You share your fruits. Let the others chase applause. You remain faithful to the rhythm. Say this aloud. I build without noise. I finish without delay. I protect my aim until it is law. Now you must make a vow, a sacred vow to yourself, a contract sealed not with ink, but with repetition. From this day forward, I return to my aim. No matter how I feel, no matter who doubts, no matter what tempts me to drift, from this day forward, I rise before the noise. I act before I am asked. I finish before I explain. From this day forward, I build a schedule that reflects my conviction. I remove what divides. I multiply what aligns. From this day forward, I am focused. I am faithful. I am finished. And if I fall, I rise faster. If I drift, I return stronger. If I am tempted, I remember my vow. Because the man of focus does not wait for clarity. He obeys what is clear. He does not seek confidence. He moves with decision. He does not wait to be seen. He builds in the dark until the light reveals him. This is what the world must now know of you. Not what you plan, but what you prove. Not what you announce, but what you complete. Not what you imagine, but what you finish. Say it again. I speak through results. I focus through repetition. I rise through rhythm. Let your mornings be structured. Let your work be holy. Let your silence be filled with motion. Let your habits be louder than your words. And when the world asks, what are you doing? Say nothing. Let your consistency answer. When they ask, where have you been? Say nothing. Let your progress respond. When they ask, how did you do it? Say nothing. Let your legacy explain. You were not made to be scattered. You were made to be sharp. You were not made to drift. You were made to command. You were not made to announce. You were made to build. Now go. Go and obey the law. Go and build the rhythm Go and install the focus. Go and become what you were always meant to be, the finisher, the focused one, the man of unshakable aim. Say this final affirmation aloud until your voice becomes steel. I return to my focus daily. I obey my structure without excuse. I starve all distraction. I multiply through repetition. I speak only when the work is done. I am the builder. I am the focused one. I am the finisher. And let that be your creed.